Nice, just sitting. Dog Hoss, what's going on? I talked early. Dog Hoss, how's the volume? Am I pitchy, dog? Hoss? House? How is the quality? Welcome, John. It's Real Collectibles. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, dog. How about now? Microphone check 1 2. What is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business? Dog Hoss floats like gravity. Never had a cavity. What's going on, Lax? Little low, but not bad. Okay. I got to figure this out then. How about anyone else? How's the volume? And guys, thanks for joining. I'm doing a little experiment. If you could each share the show, if you're in here, share the show. We're up to 6 shares. I'm testing out the algorithm to see if it really works. Like the more you share, it doesn't really help. I'm not selling anything, so let's share it as a test for us. Yeah, Lax, I have a microphone, cordless one. I need to use that. I'm not using it today, but that stinks that it's low. I appreciate that, Lax. Let me close the door. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Thank you, dog. Guys, let's share this stream. Even if you just share it to yourself, like just share it and then email it or share it and like text it to yourself, whatever you have to do just to get that number up. I think it's at 6 right now. This is more an experiment than benefiting me. But as long as you guys can hear me, cool. I guess I should probably be, this is kind of a cavernous room, unfortunately. So that's probably one reason. Speaking of Cavs Nation, welcome. Thank you, Lax. It still says 6 for some reason. Keep sharing that stream, guys. And let me know how I sound. We're also going to do a raid later. We only have 5 so far. But if you look in the notes, are the notes up there, Dog Hoss? Because I can't see the notes now that the show is live. We're going to start talking about everything that's in the notes. Lax says no about the notes. Ruh-roh. Yes, notes. I think notes are only available to view on the, which phone are you on, Lax? I think the phone, maybe not the desktop. Pickle, welcome with an EL, like a nickel. Doghouse says iPhone. Lax's phone. Are you on an iPhone, an Apple, Lax? Got 2 minutes, guys. Silent weapons. Also, this is for you guys to ask questions and us to share information and to get information from buyers. Samsung, maybe that's why, Lax. That's disappointing. I know they're always working on Android stuff. They've hired a lot of Android people. But I wonder, that's probably why you can't see the notes. So, the show notes, I'm looking at them right now. What's up, JP? We're going to chat about being awesome sellers. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about, any sellers here, and enter the giveaway. Thank you. Are there any sellers here that have kind of, you're on the Samsung, you can't see notes. All right, that's good to know. So we have to tell Whatnot that they already know this, I'm sure, that we cannot see the notes. Milo Toys, welcome back. Did you get your order yet? I know that things are a little slow at the post office right now because of the holiday. This is the part where I sing Madonna songs. Actually, I do have my little, I'm trying to do like little like segments, Dog Hoss. And this one is called Thank You for Being a Friend, where I sing Golden Girls. And thank you for being a friend, Dog Hoss. The first unofficial moderator is Dog Hoss. Travel around the world and back. It's where I embarrass myself. You have to do this. It helps your streaming muscles when you do things like this. I usually am not in front of the camera. So let's see if I can hit the note. And if you threw a party. Nah. Oh, Mr. Belvedere. Okay, we'll do that. But this is Thank You for Being a Friend. Dog Hoss, thank you. Dog Hoss is amazing, guys. Disintegration's like, no. Dog Hoss made my logo out of the kindness of his corazon. And Dog Hoss was like the first moderator before there were moderators. So thank you for being a friend, Dog Hoss. But let's play a little Mr. Belvedere. Wesley. What a weird show that is if you think about it. If you go back and think about how weird Mr. Belvedere was, it's a weird show. Really? All right, I like the fun facts. Listen to that piano. You know, my daughter takes piano lessons. I think I'm going to ask the piano teacher to teach her that opening. Selling the china. Never man. Oh, Small Wonder was weirder, but kind of ahead of its time, no disintegrations. It was kind of weird. Always learn something every day on the app. This is true. All right, we have 12 seconds to get in a good giveaway. Let's go. And if there are any sellers in here that have already been to one of these seller Q&As, raise your hand. And please share. We only have 6 shares so far. We're doing a test. My 2 dads. Ooh, that's a good one. Nice. Giovanni Ribisi. Bolgat, 91. Thanks, Bolgat. Congrats, Bolgat. Retro E-Mini Science is here. It's actually Retro Reminiscence. But it looks like Retro E-Mini Science if you look at it really quickly. All right. So I'm also live on YouTube, guys. You can please follow on YouTube because I'm losing subscribers, and that makes me very sad. I have a plethora of useless 80s knowledge. Me too. Including the word plethora being used. When else do you use the word plethora unless you're quoting Three Amigos? I'm used to standing. I want to try sitting today, kind of having like a little stool sitting thing. But then I feel like I'm posing for a high school photo or something. All right, so this next thing, if we can find some sellers here that have been in these QAs before, I want to hear, like last time, somebody said that they thanked me for doing this, right? Singing Bush in that movie. And they said like what they learned last time. They gave me an idea. Why don't we do a segment called I Learned It By Watching You, all right? Most people would only get that if they were born between, I don't know, 1970 and 1983. Thank you for sharing, or 84 maybe. You, all right? I learned it by watching you, right? Silent Weapon. So we're gonna do this thing called, and if you don't know one, I will say what I learned from watching you. Yes, who doesn't remember that if you were born in the 70s and 80s? Here it is. This kid should have won a freaking Oscar, Emmy. And he's got that like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just me, but there's like this 80s way of acting where boys would have like crack their voices. I think that was part of acting. I think they learned to crack their voices. Tell me if you noticed that. Like Corey Haim and Feldman, they always did like a voice crack thing. All right, check this out. Here we go. You all right?
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
Here it comes.
You all right? I learned it by watching you.
All right. So what did you learn by watching me? I'll tell you what I learned by watching you guys. That's I learned it by watching you. I would have can we track him down and interview him so we can all I want to do I learned it by watching you for him, and I want to hear his. He's probably like 55 now or something. Brady Bunch Peterson. That was like this thing. I don't know. I learned whatnot by watching you. All right. So what did I learn by watching you guys? Let's think about that. Recently, I learned. Oh, I know. I saw a show recently, and I'm going to try this. Okay, my son was digging up rocks in school. I don't know if you have like little kids in elementary school. And at first I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you digging rocks up? And then I'm like, oh, I guess people collect rocks. I guess I probably did stuff like that when I was a kid. And then I was joking around with him. I was like, people do collect rocks and gems. I bet, well, let's go look on Whatnot and see if there's a rock and gem channel. So there's a rock and gem channel, and it's huge. I couldn't believe how many people collect rocks and gems. And then you know what I ended up doing, Dog House? I bought rocks and gems. Yeah, that's a 90s one for sure, JP. That was a good one. But that's not as funny as the kid. That's a good one, but not as funny, right? When she slams this stuff. I think she was in Dumb and Dumber. But the rocks. So then I went on and I was amazed. Yes, minerals. And then we used to go to baseball card shows, right? And they do sell everything. We used to go to baseball card shows. And I remember seeing like, oh, it's a gem and mineral show. Damn it, it's not a baseball card show. It's a Cromwell Bridge Inn or whatever. Any questions? Yeah, let's go. What questions do we have? Silent Weapons. So that was what I learned. I learned that there was a gem and mineral show, and then I learned from that seller. I wish I could remember their name. I should probably look it up. I liked how they did their mystery show. It was not a mystery show. Maybe this isn't anything new. They had all the gems and rocks laid out on the table, and it gave me an idea. Like I've done stuff like this before, but I liked how they did it. They numbered each gem and mineral. They had the wheel spin up there. They spin the wheel. Whatever number you land on, that is the rock that you get. So that's what I learned by watching you. And let me find which seller it is so I can shout them out anyway. Because that's the next thing. That's the segue. We do want to shout out other sellers. So this seller is the Stone. Hold on. The Stone Stash. The Stone Stash. No, he's definitely. So I checked out the Stone Stash. I really liked how they ran their show. So the point is you can learn a lot by watching other sellers. So maybe what did you learn by watching other sellers? Or what did you learn from watching the first 6 episodes of this Q&A? Or from Whatnot Seller Success, which in 39 minutes, they're going to be going live. The actual official Whatnot sellers on Whatnot. If you don't know about it, make sure you follow that. There's only 300 some bookmarks for that. So check that out. We're going to raid that at the end. And so that's what I learned. I learned from the Stone Stash. I liked how they ran their show. So if there's something you guys learned, here we go. Learned about single stitch Doghouse. That's a good one. Single stitch 90s vintage shirts are way overpriced, and you should try to find them in the wild, and you can make a lot of money. I wish I could find more of those. They're insane. My brother had I'm Gen X, I guess. So all my stuff like is from like the 90s, and that stuff was super valuable. Like he had a Nirvana T-shirt sold for $400, and it wasn't a nice Nirvana T-shirt either. So if you got your Pearl Jam T-shirts, you got any of your alternative rock T-shirts, your grunge, your Grateful Dead, your Fish, whatever people follow, that there's a huge fandom for, those shirts are worth a lot of money. So just remember that. So maybe you have an older brother or a younger brother or sister, dig those shirts out, guys. That's like something you make sure your parents don't give those away because they're insanely overpriced. So yeah, the single stitch, when he says single stitch, I wish I had a t-shirt with me. It's just like on the sleeve. I don't have a sleeve, but instead of like 2 stitches, like, lines, it's 1. It's insane. I watched a show that was selling watches and he did keep, or Smash. Wow, Lax, to see all the different auction styles. Cartridge, I completely agree. So Cartridge, are you a seller? Let's see. Cartridge is not a seller, but Cartridge, what kind of auction style do you like the best? Like let's learn from the buyers too. It's not just about selling and just us talking about how we sell. Like let's hear from Cartridge or other buyers. What is it that you like about one stream versus another? Like, do you like when people are talking, or there's kind of a fine line between that and they're just auctioning stuff off like nonstop? Just curious what buyers think also. But I would say that one of the things people ask all the time is, can you give me advice on selling? I say watch other streams and find out who you like and how they sell and kind of take a little element of that, right? The Toy Man. You can watch the Toy Man and take a little something from him. You can take a little something from me and other sellers too. I watch shoe streams to see what they do right. Keeps me entertained and engrossed in the auction. There we go, says Lax. Good answer right there. I feel like one thing I like to do, and it's not for everyone, is I like to keep the conversation going during the stream, whether that means I'm talking to chat and just bullshitting BS, or if I'm talking about the item. Like you always can, if you don't have what to say, always just talk about the item because you need to talk about the item. So I'm trying to find an item. Like I could sell any item by just talking about it. I really need to check my closet. I still have my 80s. Oh, JP, that's like a treasure hunt. Like you're lucky that you still have those. Definitely, look for those. Good music. There we go. Silent. Thank you, Silent, for letting us know. I got to click on this. Don't use your phone, by the way, like I'm doing. Silent Weapons. What do you buy on here? What do you typically like to collect or shop for on Whatnot? Which, by the way, just the most incredible app, guys. Can we just say, like, taking this granted for app is not something we should ever do. G.I. Joe's is the Toy Man. Yes. Concert shirts can go crazy money, dog. Comics and figures. Nice. All right. Definitely have those. That's something. As a buyer, here we go. As a buyer, I prefer if an auction has an agenda and a set order to what they are selling as opposed to. Yes, I agree. No disintegrations, and I am guilty of the second one, and I've done the first one. And you're totally right. Especially when tell me what you want. Tell me what you want's not good either. It is tough. Like it depends what category you're in. Like if notice like a Star Wars category, like let's just run Star Wars. But when it's a storage unit or something like that, then I can understand how you kind of have to find out what the buyers are there for. So like picture like a real store. Like if I had a TCG store and I was selling Pokemon, we could talk Pokemon. I don't have to be like, yeah, I also have action figures, comics, this and that. Like we can focus. But if I do a storage auction, it could be anything. It could be comics, it could be action figures, it could be clothing. So there's a fine line right there between those two things. But I agree with you. Everything's prepped in advance. You can only do better that way. Disintegrations. That's great advice from Disintegrations. People will buy anything. Bids get out of control sometimes. I watched a guy win a 30-minute Zoom call. What? Is that on here? That's kind of amazing. What do you talk about? What do you talk about McFarlane for 30 minutes, by the way? Let's see. Agreed. The agenda goes far. Knowing about what you sell there. I love this stuff, guys. You should just tell me what to talk about here. Having a beginning and end, answering viewers, throwing in extras on high bids, etc. Cartridge, all great answers. Amazing. So something I witnessed last night, small streamer watched another stream on stream and complaining that the other stream about his show. Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. You don't want to do that's bad. Handheld pickers, no negativity, good vibes. And remember, I'm not perfect. We're all not perfect. We will slip up. But if you can remember, like what Hallowed said right there, let me do another giveaway. That's really bad news what that person did. I don't know why you would ever do that. If anything, you need to give like proper shout out and props to other sellers. That can only help you. And going on someone else's stream, Nobody wants to hear about, right, exactly. I know the crackers reference. And it can happen. Like if you are not in a place mentally that you can sell, then just go off the app for that time. There's nothing wrong with just going off the app and being done. Take a break, drink some water. I don't know, do some calisthenics, do some deep squats, some yoga, some meditation, punch a pillow. I don't know, whatever you have to do to get out of that funk. What up, One Selling? Because nobody wants to buy. Imagine if you went into a physical store, back to that again, and the owner was like, "What can I help you with?" And I went some GI Joes. Well, can you believe the guy down the street? He's been selling GI Joes all day, and I'm not selling any GI Joes. You're like, I'm gonna go now. Like, I don't want to be here with you, ruining my day, right? Like, is it kind of the same thing for you guys? Let's see. So, how about Spider-Man? Wait, what's that mean? It's something I witnessed. I'm trying to read the rest. Agree the agenda goes far. I'm trying to catch up with the things. People buy anything. What's this McFarlane thing, by the way? Oh, that's what you talked to him about for 30 minutes. What's going on, One Selling? Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. I should be reading the chats in the. See, I don't like my setup's not good here. I should have the chats like right here, and let me see what they say here. Also, the new question feature is amazing on the. If you use the desktop, guys. Getting a gibby, thank you. Let's see. I want to see what the other people said. Megatron to sell the box if you want to see it. What to talk with McFarlane about? Right. $5,000. That seems like some nice disposable income there. We took a break since December. We needed the break, but getting back on soon. I went into said guy's small stream. It was Pokemon Pool Box, but dude just sounded depressed. Yeah, that's tough, Hallowed. You don't want to stay in a stream like that, or makes the buyers feel guilty. Yeah, you don't want to do any of those things. What's up, Pickers? Let's see, Pickers, I bet, is a show coming up. So here's where I talk about shouting out other sellers. Let's shout out ML Pickers, who I didn't realize was wait, you're not a seller. Hold on. Yes, you are. You don't have enough sales. Wait, your reviews didn't show in your link. Matt and Linda. Oh, that's the ML. Got it. 2:23, 8:33 p.m. Star Wars Extravaganza Part 2. And I love reading seller profiles. I've been doing that in every show. ML Pickers is our name, and picking is our game. It already sounds positive. We pick anything Star Wars. All items come from auction sites, state sales, may contain odors. I'd probably leave that part out if I'm giving unsolicited advice, but this is solicited advice, right? Like, you came in here to talk about stuff. Always shout out to Toyman. He knows that. The Toyman and I shout each other out constantly, right? The Toyman. The Toyman is an infamous, that's more than famous Raider for me, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Makes the buyers feel guilty. ML Pickers. Let's see. Our shop is at Sunshine Saving Shop. Let me see what that is. Okay. View profile. Always looking for treasures and great deals, auctions, estate, and garage sales, and pallets. New items weekly. That's a fantastic profile. And on 317, I love this. You already have shows booked like months in advance, Sunshine, JP. Like, then people who already follow you, they can remember to click those bookmarks and check you out. How much time? We have a minute 37. If someone is a collector selling, hold on. This is a great question. How do you detach yourself from what you are selling so you don't? See, I'm the worst person to ask that, but I'd love to hear what chat has to say, because I'm not a collector. And I always say that's why I feel like I was successful in selling G.I. Joes, because I did emotional attachment to the items, but I had a financial attachment, if I'm being transparent here. That is tough. I mean, you just got to know what you wouldn't be upset about selling them at, like what price. Like, you don't want to start like a Cobra Commander at $1 and then he goes for like 10 because no one's paying attention, and then you're gonna be upset financially and as a collector, right? I would assume. Let's see. So JP says, me too. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that as collectors. I think it's a lot harder. I think a lot of people who collect and sell are sometimes selling so they can feed their habit, I guess. So as long as you, I would say also, if you think, here we go, sell to fuel the collection. Exactly. I would say that, I'm guessing, as long as you feel good, that you can always say, look, you know what? I gave a great deal to a fellow collector. I feel good about it. They have a great piece in their collection now, and I'm not going to be attached to that. And I'm going to just be happy for them, because if I were them, I would also be like happy. Hey, look at this great deal I got and this really special item that I like to collect. I've actually sold stuff from my PC before because someone was asking me about it, so I decided to let it go for a good home. There you go. JP said it right there. 4 seconds to the giveaway. Get in there. We still need to share more. Can we share this stream? Because we're really trying to work on that algorithm. Thank you, Snickerdoodles. We want to test the algorithm. It's not about me getting more viewers right now. ML Pickers, congrats. So you're going to get a Star Wars goodie bag because I know ML Pickers is a Star Wars fan and fanatic, right? ML Pickers, you bought the Burger King thing from me, right? You were one of the first people to get the Burger King thing, the 1980 Burger King thing, I think, right? Pickers. And guys, at anyone that you think, thank you, Doghouse. Guys, keep sharing this stream. I don't know why the number's not going up on the right. Can I get everyone in here to please share this stream, even if you just share it to yourself? So ML Pickers, I had so many more, and like, I don't know if you know the name Death Star. He's like, I want every single one of them. So we opened the box up, and he just took like all of them. I think I saved one for me, but don't tell him. He's gonna be mad. He wants the monopoly. he wants the corner the silver market was cornered in like the early 80s. But I was talking before about like keep talking during the stream, and if you're selling something and you're not talking about it, then you're not doing yourself a favor, and you're not doing the buyers a favor either, because they don't know what you're selling. Number one, maybe they just popped in and they're like, "What is this?" So also, if you're worried about things being too quiet during the stream or boring, just talk about the item. That's some of the other advice we were talking about before that I forgot to finish on. So I would just repeat what this is. Like, all right, guys, Sharpie, permanent marker, 60 seconds on the clock. We're going to start at $3. This is a black Sharpie. Writes perfectly, whatever. Just say it and just keep repeating it. All right, guys, 20 seconds. We're at $3 on the Sharpie. Get in there before the Sharpie ends, instead of just sitting there quietly and saying nothing and just showing a Sharpie, right? I mean, you can't talk the entire time, obviously, but I would say it's more interesting to keep it going. And obviously, we want to talk to chat. Like, that's a big thing, is to talk to chat. Make sure, hold on one second. Make sure that you are connecting with chat and you're answering all their questions. I think there's probably nothing more frustrating for you guys. Nice, the Toy Man for sure. There's probably not, it'd be weird, right? The Toy Man, I always call it radio silence, you know? Thank you, ML. But Toy Man, tell me if you agree with this. Like, what was I even saying to Toy Man? If you just talk about the item, I think that's enough right there. But you want to just keep engaged, I think, with chat. Oh, I remember what I was saying. There's nothing worse probably for buyers, and buyers can confirm, than when you ask for something. And we all can't see every chat. That's what moderators are for, and reminders. And now they have this questions tab, by the way, on the desktop app or the desktop site. So you can see all the questions and they're highlighted. But what I was saying was, buyers, if you ask a seller for something and they just ignore you, whether it's for whatever reason it is, I know that's super frustrating, right? So make sure that you guys engage with that. Any questions that come up, make sure you're answering them. And then you could say something like I always do, just, hey, if I missed a question, please ask again. Like, I encourage you to ask those questions. It's not annoying to me at all. Ask it 4 times until I respond. Like why would I? It's like, imagine again, we're doing the physical store analogy, which I think is a great analogy to use. Imagine if you came into my store and I'm behind the counter, like, excuse me, John, do you have any He-Man? And I'm just sitting there like ignoring you the entire time. John, do you have any He-Man? Hello. So I think about it that way. I've gotten blocked because I didn't answer. Oh, that's messed up, Grim Slaughters. I don't know why somebody would do that. That's a little much. SoCal, thank you for the raid yesterday. Hello. SoCal, G.I. Joe King, make sure you follow him. Thank you, Doghouse. We were just saying how frustrating it can be as a buyer to not hear or not get a response from the seller on chat. So don't undervalue chat, sellers. Chat is, that's how we connect with who we're selling to. It depends on the person. Robert Maynard is quiet most of the time. Okay. But he thanks all buyers and gives great deals. I agree, Snickerdoodles. I don't think it's for everyone. Like, I think if I've seen his auctions before, I might have. If they're very organized and it's just about the items, like a real, true auction, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is everything loaded up for him already? And he doesn't really have to do that, and everyone just knows what they're there for, and they understand the, you know, what his vibe is. Then you're right. You don't have to talk all the time. And if you're someone that's introverted, just talk about the item. Or some people aren't going to have as big of a personality, and that's okay too. Some people don't want that. They don't want to be. Not everyone is a who can I use, like a shoe seller, like a blazendary. Not everybody's a blazendary, right? Exactly. You can't keep that hype, but not everyone's a toy man. So sometimes, like, let's see, you talk about the item, care about your chat, and engage completely with chat. Build a relationship with your followers. Exactly. And just be transparent. Just be a human, right? You know, play a little music maybe in the background. Just that's interesting about what you said about Robert Maynard. I'd like to see what that looks like, Snicker. And let's see if Snicker's a seller. Snicker's not a seller. But thank you for that, Snicker. That's the other side of it. Sometimes someone who has I'll use Jeremy from Pop C. I don't think he's not like a really hyped, he's not a hyped guy. But when he talks, like, you listen and he always says important things about the items for Pop C Shop. If you guys know Pop C, and his vibe is not, like a big personality, but it's good content, and it's really interesting. Everything he says is relevant to what he's selling, and he's pretty much talking the whole time, I would say. You guys agree with that? And what else? I'm just trying to think. Like, have you ever seen Chris Sewell? You guys haven't seen him on YouTube? Collector, investor, in that order. That guy, the baseball card guy. He is a very dry, but he's so engaging though. Anyway, so you don't have to be like big personality and lots of. You can be monotone and still be interesting. Is what I guess I'm trying to say. Let's see. I would like to do a show where it's a roast of my buyers. Is that okay? You want to roast your buyers? I mean, if they have this strong enough skin for it, I think it'll be fun. I thought you were gonna say roast yourself. Like if everyone could roast the seller, that could be a lot of fun, right? Let's see what this says here. Toyman says Pop C Shop is great. One key to success is willingness to give deals. Yeah, you're right, and still be happy about it. Toyman, that's great advice. Excellent advice. Snickerdoodle says I could take it. See, I sometimes I forget what I'm even talking about. Oh, you could take it. I got you. What he said. Don't get discouraged about something that's selling. We've had things that sell for months and then it sells. Oh, that's great advice too. You could maybe offend somebody. That's true. Yeah. I know he's half kidding, but I'd say it's better to you be the self-deprecating one and let people joke on you. I think that'd be fun. Toyman loves losing. Give the man a follow. Oh man. All right, we have another giveaway coming up right now. 20 minutes till we raid the actual Whatnot Sellers platform. Let me see if I've gone through some of this stuff. So we went through. I learned it by watching you. You, all right? I learned it by watching you, but I learned it by watching you. What is something you guys have learned by watching another stream, or watching my streams, or watching the Q&A, or watching each other? Is there anything else we've learned that we can talk about right now? Throw something out there, guys. I talked about how I learned from the Stone Stash, how they ran their show. I thought it was really great how they put all the stones out so you could see the mystery items, and they did the wheel spin. Brilliant. And they numbered each one. Rachel disagrees. For the 40K and going 40K. Wait, what's 40K? For the 40K. And figures that follow button. Yes. And guys, share. I don't know what's going on with the share. Can someone try to share? It's not working right now for some reason. It's stuck at 6. I want to see what happens. This is an experiment. The Toyman, I think we need. So the Toyman, don't they always tell us the more shares? Okay. The more shares you have, the more engagement, the higher up you'll go in the algorithm, and more people will come in. So if we can get those shares up to like a dozen, I don't know why it's not changing. Maybe it's just on my end, but I just want to see what happens. And then you guys can also encourage people. Well, it says 14 shares on the desktop. All right, good. It's not working then. Shares and hearts, because this is 14 on here on the desktop. I guess it didn't update yet. It says 10 on your end. Okay, so we're all over the place. But I don't think it's working yet. I think we need to keep doing it. It says 10 on your end too, geez. Okay, weird. And it says 14 on my desktop. So I guess that's something they need to work on. Yeah, tag people. Any engagement, right? Watching other sellers, I learned so much about what to look for in buying things. Yes, JP, that's true too. Then it says 6 on yours. Interesting. I wonder, hey, Dog House, can you kill the app and come back? I want to see it if it updates. Thank you, G's Beats. I appreciate you. It's more of an experiment. We're up to 17 shares now, guys, and we're at 22 people. Let's see if it works. So far, I don't know. I've never had this many shares, not even close, and we're still at the same numbers I would normally have, and I have a giveaway going. So I'm a little skeptical. No bad. I watch shows in every category, always learning. Yeah, Victoria, man, we were talking about that before, and I couldn't agree more. Watch a show in a category that you normally wouldn't watch. Like I watched shoe sellers, and I learned a lot from shoe sellers. I watched Pokemon sellers. You can learn so much. It still says 10 on your end. I have 17 here, and then 6 on the app. That's really weird. Doghouse, how many do we have now? But there's so many new categories to Toy Man. I couldn't even believe it. And yours says 14. Like one of the categories, and we're going down, by the way, with 19. One of the categories I couldn't believe I didn't know about was rocks and gems, or gems and minerals. And it was loaded with shows, guys. So you never know. Hold on one second. By the way, any GPK people, this is not a plug, but it's at the 14. GPK, I have a box of 7th series. I think you'll appreciate this too. 7th series coming. I'm hoping it's today that we're going to do a break on. 7th series. We're looking for the Adam Booms and was it Billy Blast 2? Maybe? Is that what it is? The 2 guys? Those are pretty good ones to get. We have a minute left on the Givey. And let me see, make sure I've talked about other things I want to talk about. We still have 18 minutes left. So, seller profiles. Who's got a seller profile that I could look at? Raise your hand if you're sure. I'd love to look at a seller profile. And I don't know everything, but every single Q&A we've done, we have found improvements that we can make on people's seller profiles. All right, ML Pickers, we did look at yours. I think one thing I saw about it, maybe you didn't hear me, that I said you should get rid of. I actually like it, but I don't know if it really belongs in your seller profile. ML Pickers is our name and picking is our game. Perfect. We pick anything Star Wars. All items come from auction sites, estate sales. I don't know if you need to put may contain owners in there. I understand why you're putting that. Maybe in the past you've had issues and you're buying from these estates and you can't control that and you just want to cover your butts. And I like you're being transparent though, that you're telling them like, look, these things are old things. Like they could have owners. But I don't know if it's necessary to have in your profile. What do you guys think? Pickers. And we have 3 seconds to go to draw the winner. That's just one little silly thing that I saw. Otherwise, I think your profile is perfect. Pickers, interesting. So that's tough. Trash. Cass, let me know what you collect because we do like little collector goodie bags. And so ML Pickers, I'll talk about the smoke thing in a second. Was it toys that had smelled like smoke? Because we can go back to the root cause of this. We could do the why, the 5 whys or whatever. Trash, what do you collect? Do you collect Pokemon? Perfect. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Trash. Thanks for coming in. Guys, make sure to follow if you're not already. I do shows. Not like the disclaimer helps against unhappy buyer. The Toy Man, great point. The Toy Man's always come up with great stuff. Toy Man, we should do like a collaboration type of thing if you want to co-host one of these. I even clean all my toys. So that's interesting. Definitely disclose it. I guess, ML, I would go back to when you're buying it. Maybe you didn't have the opportunity to know that it smelled like smoke. And then once you get it and you clean it, it still smelled like smoke. Is that what you're saying? Because if that's the case, I mean, you would try to be detailed maybe for that specific show. Again, it's not the end of the world if it's not in there, but I think what the Toy Man said was true. It's not going to change anything having in there. So I don't know. I'd probably leave it out. I've had a couple smoky lots, and it's the worst thing as a seller, and I would never want to send those to you guys. I literally took G.I. Joes apart, changed the O-rings, gave them all baths, like I Lysoled it, like everything I could possibly do, and just to get the smoke smell out. So I would say if you can avoid getting smoke smelling stuff, avoid that first. Anyone else? Can we look at someone else's profile real quick, guys? Let's see. Packaging is very important. Yes, Silent Weapons. I love that. We always talk about packaging. I sell Hot Wheels, but not on here. I don't have the personality. See, we talked about that earlier. I don't think you need the personality to sell on here, especially Silent if you're not facing the camera, which I don't normally do. The only time I face the camera, I mean, sometimes on here, but it's rare, is when I'm doing these. Otherwise, I am so much more comfortable behind the camera because I could just be sillier and I'm like always looking around for stuff. And I'm just more comfortable, I'm sure, like most people, being behind. I'm always impressed when someone stays on the camera selling the entire time. Like, it seems like a lot harder work to do that personally. And I like how the Toy Man will do both. He'll go on camera and talk to the audience, which is connects with people, and it's fun. And then he'll go back to selling the items, which is why people are there. They want to see the items. Exactly, the Toy Man. But I would say you have great items. That's going to be how you lead Silent Weapons. Lead with your knowledge. Lead with what you know, which is Hot Wheels, and lead with good product, and the rest will fall into place. A lot of people who collect aren't that. I mean, this is a general statement. I'm thinking on here and collecting aren't like extroverted, like big personality people, right? Like they're just more low key and down to earth people, which is great. Like that's why I love this because there's no judgment and nonsense in here. Do you guys feel that, or is it just me? I feel like the people I've connected with on here through like the collectors, and this is a a general statement, SoCal. I feel like everyone's kind of a good person. Like there's not pretension in this world. Does that make sense to Toy Man and SoCal? There's not this like pretension. Maybe if we're in a different category, like designer bags or something, get good at impressions. That's important. I love doing impressions. Basis, that's important. Let's see what Basis does. Basis is a seller. Let's see. Basis, I don't see a profile for you, any shows coming up, but you have a lot of followers and a lot of items sold. Basis, let us know what you sell. I would recommend that it is fun. What do you sell? And I would recommend all toys. I would recommend updating your profile. That's just my, my opinion. Put something in your profile, talk about what you sell, things like that. Maybe your name, maybe a little bit, something funny. And then schedule one show. Like just have one show on there. scheduled out, even if you don't know if you can do it. Like schedule it for like March 31st or something. You can always change it earlier or later, but then people can say, oh, I love bassist, but I don't see any shows coming up, and then they'll forget about you. So, if you have a show up there, at least they'll bookmark you. They don't think that you went away. Right. But how can you watch bassist if bassist doesn't have any shows scheduled to him, man? To some extent, yes, we want to see the good. I always read motives. Words versus, yes. You're definitely more, I'm a little more naive, I guess you could say, than SoCal's more on like, he's kind of more receptive or perceptive, I'd say, to nonsense. Yeah, you got it, bassist. See, if we can say one thing that helps people today, then this is worth doing the 45 minutes. People have taught me this. So if there's one thing, like who else can we look at besides bassist's profile? Can we look at someone else's? And again, I am not the know-all be-all. I just can look at it and give you like my personal opinion and let chat also give feedback. Also, as a seller, learn how to accurately comp items. ML Pickers, that is great advice right there. Seriously great advice. Because that goes both ways. You don't want to look like you're overselling something and ripping people off by giving the wrong information, but you also don't want to leave a lot of money on the table. So somewhere like the sweet spot, know generally what you're selling, obviously, and what it's worth. And guys, I got to say, I don't think that the sharing thing really did much. What do you guys think? Because I usually have approximately this many people. I'm not saying there's anything bad. I'm also not doing an actual auction, so it's hard to, maybe we'll see the views at the end. Don't shuffle into the camera. Be aware of your mic. Very good advice too. Overcomping is one of the worst things a seller could do. Toyman is so right. Over sniffle? I read that wrong. I said show. Sniffle. I need glasses. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I would leave, and that's a great advice basis. I would leave a stream if you get like that, that sound where it's like, it hurts your ears when they're like right up in the mic, right? The 2020 seller crowd has gone away. Buys. Yeah, that's true. Let's do one. I think I have one more. Okay, we're going to wait a few more minutes to do the last giveaway. That's another reason I watch other sellers to see what similar things you're selling for. Good point too. See, you guys just give the best advice on here when we do this, which is really helpful. Let me see if I missed anything else. I learned by watching you. We did that. Thank you for being a friend. We did that. Buyers. How can sellers be better? Any more things from buyers that we could, that sellers could be better? You guys have been great advice already. I heard the hearts tapping changes the algorithm. I'm not so sure about that because when I've heard people ask about it, it didn't seem like they had a strong conviction on whether the hearts did much. They said like any type of engagement helps. So I think if there's like a spectrum or a pyramid of the best things to do, I think that's probably good, but it's probably lower than, let's say, sharing. But we do have 17 shares so far. Let's see if we can do a few more shares, guys, and see if we can bump it up. Can we get to 30 people? Can each person share it? Even if you just click the share button and you text it to yourself. This is a experiment here, guys. I don't like when sellers waste too much time in between items. Geez Beats, I totally agree, and I am guilty of that. And that's all about planning, I think. You're totally right. That's very frustrating because buyers have a very short attention span, so you need to capture them, and they're going to leave the stream. Sharing is caring. Let's see what G's Beats. So you're just a buyer, right? Not just, what I mean. You're a seller too. G's is a buyer. Thank you, G's, for the great feedback on that one. Does it on purpose. He makes it work. All right. Let's see. As a buyer, the seller will be on. That's a good point. On for their plans, items they will run, and general starting prices before I buy in. All great advice. Willie Will says right, but I'm not sure what it was about. But anytime you say right, that's good. Buying into the show, commitment for me. Yes. A little anticipation is good too, though. Now, I do like it when you're in a show and it's running smoothly. I agree. And you know it's coming up. When I do OBS to Toyman, I'm literally going to have one of those, like, what was that show called? Or either on Sports Center where they have like the little things like what's coming up, like just so people kind of know. I've seen people do it. They write it on paper, and that's a good idea too. If you can be that organized with it. I wanted to do that for these. I wanted to write each question or whatever, each topic, each bullet point we're going to go over. Teasers, nice preview of what's upcoming. There you go, Willie Will. Yeah, exactly. And that's where you want to definitely take pictures of your items. Oh, great segue, Willie Will. So one way you can do this if you don't have time to keep listing everything, right? That's a great question, Basis. I'd like to see what everyone else thinks. I actually, at first, thought they were so important, and I want to get back to what I was saying before. I'm not so sure now how important they are. What do the buyers think? So I feel like the thumbnails are what captures people. And obviously, first, it's like the category. Like, okay, it's Pokemon. You don't really care. Like, if you look at Kraken Hits, I think their name is, I don't know what their logo is, but they have 600 people in the stream, so it means nothing, right? But basis, if like you're a seller that people don't know and you have Pokemon and you have a video showing like great like in-demand stuff, then yeah, I guess I could see the importance of promo video there, or just a really good thumbnail. Does the entertainment help? Does that draw you in and people want to hang out? I'd love to hear what Chad has to say about that. My experience basis is that helped me out a lot in the beginning, and like getting followers and getting people to tune in to the shows, which helps you get other buyers because your numbers are higher. So even if some people were just there and they would tell me straight up, like, I'm just here to like hang out and have fun. I'm not here to buy. So I would say in that regard, it's good. I think that yesterday, I hate talking about myself, but like yesterday someone said, oh, I like your personality. And I wasn't on camera. I was just talking and joking around. And that made them stick around, I think. So I think basis in that regard, it can only be a positive. But again, to that person who thinks my personality is interesting or funny, the next person could think that I'm annoying and be quiet. So I think it's like you got to know your audience too. Like me, because I knew my audience was 98% Gen Xers, right? So I could make jokes and references that they got, and it was like fun and interesting. But if I make that same reference to like a millennial, they'll be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Why is he quoting from 1984? This is stupid. So I think you got to know your audience. I hang out for the toy man, not really for what he sells. He should do more funny promos. He would draw more in. I mean, that's definitely a big part of it, is people want to like who they're buying from a little bit. I think probably top is like they want to buy what they want to buy, right? They don't care who it's from. If they get a good deal and they want something they want, then great. But if they're looking at like buying from me or the toy man versus somebody else that maybe they like the toy man more, they'd rather spend their money with him. It's like going to like your local comic shop. Maybe one comic shop, you like the owner, but his prices are whatever, they're fine. And the other comic shop owner is a dick, or a jerk. And you're like, I don't want to buy from that guy, even though his prices are like 1%, 2%, 5% less. I'm going to go to the toy man because I love going in there. I feel comfortable going in there, and I know he's going to take care of me. So I think in that regard, again, basis, you bring up great topics to talk about, basis, for sure. I would say that it does matter in that regard, especially on Friday when when you're drinking. There you go. So, I mean, you guys tell me, because you guys are the buyers, right? I'm just kind of learning from the experience I've had on here what I think works. And it always is going to change. Like I have to keep pivoting because I do new categories. So I have to kind of learn my place in each category. I like shows where they're knowledgeable buyers. It allows me to pick up knowledge. Notice integrations, definitely. And there are some very knowledgeable buyers on here and very knowledgeable collectors. And that's how I learned most of the stuff that I know. Let's do the last giveaway for a collector's goodie bag. We are up to 20 shares, and I don't know if it did anything. I want to share this information with whatnot. Or maybe we'll try it on one of my live actual streams where I'm actually selling things. People tell me all the time they enjoy coming into the live and listening to my music. There you go. Who got that? Dude, thank you, bassist. I appreciate that. Seriously appreciate it. Thank you, bassist. Make sure you guys are following bassist, by the way. And here's the other thing. Shout out other sellers, guys. You got to shout out other sellers. Especially, hold on, I can't click on them. Why is it not working? Oh, there we go. And then if I could save a show, I would save your show, basis. But try to get bookmarks for other sellers too. Like if I see other sellers, especially, I mean, I know there might be this competitive thing where you probably don't want to share like against yours says 14, but like it's okay to do that. But it takes no effort on your part as a seller to say, hey, go follow, let's see, what's the Allen Bundle? Are you a seller? Yes. Okay. Allen Bundle, collect and sell. Any shows for Allen Bundle? 223. Watch this, guys. Can you get TMNT fingers for Allen Bundle? 23 bookmarks right now. Let's get Allen Bundle up to 27 bookmarks. Let's do Allen Bundle a favor because Allen Bundle seems like a newer seller. That's not why, but let's just do it anyway. Allen Bundle, collect and sell. Been trying to make custom figures there. By no means perfect, but feel free to look and make offers. Support my business. All right, so check out Allen Bundle. Maybe you'll see some cool stuff as collectors. My pleasure. That's what I would encourage you guys do is, talk about other sellers. It only helps. I'm not doing this it's not a contrived thing. It's not, like I'm doing this to trick you guys. It's a good thing to do. Like Sarah Zadek, go check her out. Let's see Sarah Zadek and what shows she has coming up. it only helps you. I feel like people appreciate it, and I can still never think of what the term is. It's a psychological term or sociological term. She sells random items, mostly vintage, toys, plush, clothes, jewelry, glass, collectible storage unit finds. It's not nailed down. It's for sale. I love that. And she's a 5-star seller, and she has a show coming up because she's got all her shows ready, guys. She's got a half a dozen shows coming up. Today at 7. Let's get her up to 20 bookmarks. Sarah's Special Treasures. That sounds fun. Check that out. There we go. We have a couple minutes left. Yeah, my pleasure, Alan Bundle. Always happy to do that. You guys should shamelessly plug yourselves. It's the only way we can grow. If you're a smaller seller, how else are you going to grow, right? So we should do more co-hosting and things like that. I don't do that enough. I should be doing more of that because let's say I co-hosted with Alan Bundle, for example, or the Toy Man or Bassist. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, Bassist and Springer? Okay, wow. Who's the Springer guy? Like, we like Bassist, and he's doing this thing with Springer. Let's go follow him and see what he has to say. Because, social proof from Bassist or from any of you guys. Let's see. New items, show tonight, 7 p.m. See, I love that Sarah's doing that. Don't feel like you can't, at least in my streams, please do that. Why shouldn't you do that? I'm not going to, I can't believe you're doing that in my stream. Take away my body. No, you can totally do that, guys. If anyone you shout out your Instagram, shout out your shows. It's a safe space here. We've had people ask for something we didn't have, and we sent them to a fellow seller. JP, I love that. Exactly. And if I miss any questions, let me know. I'm trying to look back to see. Oh, do the bookmarks help you guys? I normally don't bookmark and just go. I think the bookmarks help, and I'll tell you why. So bookmarks help to a point, right? Sounds like a networking mixer. Bookmarks help because of the perceived value of the bookmarks. First of all, you're probably more curious if you're going through a bunch of thumbnails and this is prior to, and you're like, wow, why are there 50 bookmarks, right? At this guy's show, it must be something interesting versus one bookmark. I think there's that psychological aspect. And I always use the Chinese restaurant in the mall example. So if you walk into a mall and you see, and probably who's walking to a mall now, I guess, but in the 90s and you see a long line at the Chinese restaurant, I don't know why I always use Chinese restaurant, by the way, and they're giving out the chicken teriyaki and everyone's taking the chicken teriyaki. You're like, oh, what's this? I want to try that Chinese restaurant. But if there's no one there in line, or maybe one guy, you're like, I don't know about that place. I'm going to get sick if I eat there. That's how psychological it is. It can be the exact same place, but the fact that there's people there changes everything, right? You use other platforms to get sellers to come. I should more, Nick. I don't do it enough, but I have gotten some others to come here from Facebook groups, and that was huge. I definitely got people to come from Facebook, but you just have to talk to those group moderators to make sure it's okay. Obviously, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you can bring people in, then absolutely, of course. Locally, whatever you can do to get the word out that you're a seller, by all means, that's marketing. You should do that. And we're drawing the winner, and then we're going to go raid in a minute. Unless there's any questions. Mitch CA, what do you collect? I just do these little fun collector goodie bags. Nothing crazy, just a little something, something. By the way, we should talk about giveaways and reviews on giveaways, which I'm fine with as long as nobody says anything negative about your giveaway. I have to say one thing I can't stand is from storage sellers when they're selling clothing item at Yeah, Willie Will, I couldn't agree more. Bookmark and listed items because I know what's up for auction. Absolutely. If you guys in here do, all right. Oh, who won? I said, let me know what you collect. Who was that? It was something CA. Are they still here? And then we're going to raid in a minute. So stick around, guys. Don't go anywhere. Ecosystem where all survive by helping each other. Exactly. Let's see what Collectors Heaven's profile looks like. Hold on. Yeah, definitely use other platforms, by the way, for sure. Hold on. I'm stuck in the chat. Sometimes this happens on my phone, so hold on. Who won the giveaway, Doghouse? Let's see. Surprised I don't see more trolls on the platform. I'm glad that. Yeah, I love that disintegration. All right, let's stay a little longer. I want to talk about that. Hold on. Let's see. There's a ton of trolls. Just surprised me, says Mitch. Mitch, do you like Pokemon or Star Wars? Thank you, ML. You never see any. No deep trolls make it fun. Exactly, the Toy Man. Perfect, Mitch. It's rare that you get trolls, but if you do, chat will usually come to your rescue anyway. And I would say never react negatively to it. You're welcome. Thank you. And always just kind of, you could have fun with it. You could be self-deprecating. You could ask them questions. I treat them like I'm a psychologist. If they ever come in, it's been a long time. Like, what brings you here? What are trolls? Wait, Willie Will, I thought you were the one that brought. Oh, Willie Will brought the smelly clothes up. Trolls are like, how can you explain trolls, guys? Like, I don't understand trolls. It's like the same kind of people that eat Tide pods. You know what I mean? Some of my friends started as trolls. Oh, that's interesting. They have purple hair. Party crashers. They'll come in and they'll just try to disrupt things, and shit talkers, and they'll just like say dumb stuff to like disrupt chat and get attention, right? Let's see. Troll are people that ruin the buying experience for other buyers. There you go. Support. Oh, that's interesting too, SoCal. That could be too. You could have little troll plants. Why not? Sure. But I would say if this answers your question, notice integrations, just have fun with it. Like, what, don't you have something better to do than troll my G.I. Joe stream? Like, what's going on? Do you need help? Are you okay? I think that kind of like kills them at that point. Or you can just be like, why don't you just hang out? We'll be your friend. Whatever you do, just to let your mods worry about them. And you never know. Sometimes it seems like it's a troll, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the way that somebody types and it's their personality. Like I've had, S Falcon, the toy man. Some people thought he was a troll, and he's a great guy, like because they didn't understand the context of S Falcon. So sometimes it may not even be a troll. It might just be somebody that just types things that look like mean, but they're not. Don't be afraid of the chat or gets upset. Always remove someone for being disruptive. Toy man, nonstop great advice, guys. Make sure you pay attention to what he's saying. Instigator. Agitators in the backgrounds found the trolls here worse than Facebook. Wow, that sucks. Super troll. What I used to call him, I called him some kind of troll. I would call him like a what was it? Like an accidental troll or something like that. Let's see. Ed is a troll? I don't know. Ed, I feel like Ed is extremely sarcastic, but I'm not in those streams where he says those things because Ed is usually like all lighthearted and fun and silly. But I could be wrong. You're a part-time troll. There we go. You were born in 79. Didn't know what a troll was. Yes. My son just taught me what a drip was. I don't know what's a drip. What the hell? It's not what I was born in 78. What's a drip? S Falcons. We're talking about you. Oh, man. True toy man. I don't think I've seen a troll on here. Nickhead, yeah. For the most part, you're not going to see them. Yeah, I know Genome. He's a... Really? I've never had that with Genome, ever. But I think it also depends... Who's interacting? Genome, S Falcon, what's up? What I used to call you, S Falcon, like a positive troll, like an accidental troll or a misunderstood non-troll troll. I used to call you something. Anyway, Genome, every time he comes into my streams, he's always like, what does he always say? He always says he has a line. It's always nice. Everybody calls me something, but what does he always say? Well, he goes, sup, baby? Something like that. I said it wrong now because I'm on camera, but when I'm behind the camera, I say it right. He always says, sup, baby? That's it. That's all I know what he says. And I've never heard him, but I've talked to him plenty of times in chat, and he's always been a great person on here. He's my buddy, but some people don't get it. Yeah, there's a couple of people like that. They don't understand their meaning. Exactly. Really? That's interesting. Wow. Love S Falcon. We're meeting him again this weekend. The toy man, that's amazing. The toy man, you were lucky the All-Star game was in Indiana, man. Did you guys go to any of the festivities? We do monthly lunches. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, let me see if the other show is on yet, so I could stuff, guys. My nephew went to the game. That was good stuff. At Whatnot Sellers. We're gonna look for. See if they're streaming. Oh, it's a 12:15. They moved it again. Sellers 12:15. So we got 10 more minutes. I need some more giveaways. A bunch of Indian people. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's see. I'm about to have. Oh, here we go. First picker. Perfect. Yeah. Hay show. What's a hay show? What's a hay show? Oh, hat show. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. First time picker. Let's take a look. Ooh, piece of candy. All right. First time picker. First of all, Brian, I would say let us update your profile. This is I'm going to do the low hanging fruit stuff. Update your profile so you talk a little bit about yourself. If you're a collector, if you're a seller, what you like to sell, just something positive. And then your show. I don't see your show yet in here though. Unless it's under. I don't see the show yet. So make sure you put that up. I'm about to have my first show. So I guess first things first. Make sure you put your show up. Did it freeze the screen? I can autocorrect. This is true. Yes, I've learned it. Hat. I translate autocorrect. About to load it. Yes. Okay. So load the show. great pictures. I don't trust right now, sadly, the camera for me, unless it's something I'm doing wrong. The camera for me when I list during, like when you're listing in the auctions, I don't think it works as well. It's like, what's it called? It's like wide angle. So maybe take all your pictures first on the camera and then add them in. It's glitchy also. Yep, it's true. So I would probably pre-take the pictures, and obviously good lighting, natural lighting. Don't use any for hats. It's gonna be really important to have good lighting because people need to understand the true colors. So any natural lighting you could use, just outdoor like sunlight or a daylight bulb, anything where there's natural sun coming in. Maybe you already know all this. You want to get the good angles on that to make sure if there's any are the hats all brand new or are they used, because you definitely want to make sure that you point out any issues with those hats too. Anytime it's clothing, and Willie mentioned smells before. Smells are a no-no. You can't sell cigarette stuff. You'll get crushed in your reviews if you sell stuff that smells like cigarettes. And if you can't smell it, you should have someone else be your like smell tester. If someone else told me, oh, I don't even smell it, I have a bad sense of smell, make sure you check those, because there's nothing worse. You have good intentions, and then someone blasts you for selling smelly stuff. You're going to lose buyers, and then you're going to look bad in the reviews. But more advice, I would say, it depends how comfortable you are talking. So what are your concerns, I should say, before I give you advice that may not even pertain to you for the one that's selling hats. What about communication with the audience? Okay, so we talked about that earlier. That's something I always talk about first time. First of all, you definitely want to keep engaging with chat. You don't want to miss chats. Be humble. Be humble, stay low like Hootie? Blow like Hootie, that's it. No, but stay humble. And it is your first show, so people are going to realize that. Make sure you acknowledge it's your first show. I think that's going to help, because chat's going to want to help you, in my opinion, if it's your first show or first few shows. And I would say depends on what kind of person you are. If you have a big personality, right? Our giveaways are definitely helpful for bringing people in my opinion. Yes, definitely. I would do a few giveaways. I think the more you give in the beginning, the more you're going to get in the long run. I think that it's my first show. Let's do, we're going to do one giveaway every hour or something like that, whatever it is. And maybe say why you're giving away, what you're giving away. This is my favorite hat or whatever. This is my favorite brand of hat. You can find more of them and buy it now. And then let them know that if they win the giveaway, their shipping is going to be cheaper also. Because once you buy one item, shipping changes. Sure, we might help. Hold on. Most of the clothes I find in storage units get donated. Good stuff I wash. Yeah, that's exactly, Sarah. I don't sell clothes, but I definitely can relate to that. Make sure all of your inventory is in the store. Yep, no gaps between items, so you're trying to manually put them in. Yeah, absolutely. All great advice from chat so far for first time. But I would say, as far as communication, make sure you're answering all the questions. Giveaways are good. Toyman says, I recommend first-time sellers do a intro show, just a giveaway, and have your real first show scheduled to learn the process. The Toyman, more great advice there. Absolutely check that out. Oh, first time, watch other sellers in your category and other categories to see what works and what you're comfortable doing. And then you can get ideas like, oh, wow, look how they show the item. I like that. Or, this is how they kind of run the show. You can kind of just get an idea of how they run the show and how they talk about the items. And you could look at chat to see what works. Go watch the video game streams. There you go. Yeah, I should watch more video game streams. I don't watch any of those. Let's see. This is for sure. Watch other sellers. That's how I learned to do any of this. I didn't know this existed 3 years ago. I didn't know that any of this existed. I came on and I started to religiously watch a lot of the streamers, a lot of the card breakers. One of them being Going Twice. I watched a lot of Going Twice, and you have to see what you like. You may not like my cadence or the way I sell or the way the Toyman sells, but maybe you like someone else the way they sell, or, take little pieces of that and add it into your personality while you're selling. But again, I would say that stuff is secondary. Just know your items, what you're selling, have it prepared, and talk about the items first, and the rest should start to kind of fall into place. I do like how if the seller thinks that a bid was too high, they upgrade the item. Right. Silent. That's really good. Yeah, like if the seller gets more than they could have thought that they were going to get for it, then yeah, that's really cool if you can give back, be like, thank you so much, for the purchase. I'm going to throw you in this extra such and such, whatever it is, or there'll be extra prize in your thing show my appreciation for the purchase. And speaking of that, if you're a new seller, make sure you have some sort of communication that you put in the package. This is underrated. I don't think anyone talks about this. And I could do better at it as far as my presentation, but I get the job done. I put the note in the package. It says like, thank you. I thank them in the note. I say to them, if there's anything wrong with your item, this is how you can contact me. This is what you should do. Please contact me first or whatnot first before leaving any review, and I'll make sure that you are happy with your item. I think that goes a long way. It humanizes you, and hopefully it'll stop someone's anger from immediately going right to the review and saying, fuck, this guy's terrible, da, da, da. So, okay, you're a full-time reseller on Mercari and eBay because you're already ahead of the game then. I want to do this full-time too. You got it. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, you got it. Oh, that's huge. First time, that's number one. You have good inventory, the rest will follow. Like lead with good inventory and you'll be fine. And you already know what you're doing. If you know the items and you obviously know how to photograph and all that stuff because you're a seller on other platforms. Now it's just the live selling part, and just be prepared. You're going to be selling like, I don't know, 50 times faster than let's say eBay. That's what the advantage of being on here is. You're going to sell a lot more, a lot faster. Having some cheaper items to run giveaways without losing much can help to run. Another more great advice. Most people put a personalized sticker. Yes, stickers are awesome too. I handwrite notes for my shows. KV Toys couldn't be better than that. The stickers and packs of cards, all that is good stuff. KV Toys, let's see your profile. I'm a college student. Oh man, I wish I could dude. If they had this in college, KV, you are lucky. I'm a college student who likes to sell vintage toys on the side. Interesting. I don't know how you got into vintage toys as a, what is it, Gen? What are you now? What is this, Gen? Not Gen Z? Is that what it is? Let's see if KV, and you named yourself KV Toys also. Return to the Motu train, 224. Check out the Motu train with KV, who is a rare human to be selling vintage toys at as a 20-year-old. Thank you first. Let's see. Realistic expectations is important. How do you get junk to give away? S Falcon. See, that's where S Falcon looks like a troll, but he's not. Don't sell stuff you were attached to. Yep. I'm 19. I was close. Gen Y. Isn't that interesting, guys? That he or she is looking at selling. That would be like us in the 90s selling like tin toys or something, right? Or trains or something. You should see his math homework. Don't always have to bubble wrap packing paper. Packing paper, I'm all about the paper. You overdo it with, sometimes you can overdo it with bubble. There's no reason for bubble sometimes. It's overkill, even though people might argue with me about that. It depends what you're selling to and what it is. But if you take like a $12 figure and you have him in a little baggie and he's wrapped in paper and he doesn't move and he's in the middle of the box, you're good. I've sold 20-some thousand items on here. I don't think I've ever had maybe one damaged item. But recently, ironically, I had a damaged. Someone didn't like the way I packed it because I was trying to experiment and it failed. I was trying to pack in a bubble wrap with cardboard, so it was like still is protected. But collectors, if you're selling vintage toys, KV, and you know this, collectors are very specific about not sending stuff in bubble wrap no matter what, or bubble mailers no matter what. So don't do that. Let's see. If you shake it really hard, you can hear the item. That's no good. Exactly, that's Falcon. The no shake rule. Someone send me something in bubble mailer, I'd never buy from that person again. There you go. Grim Slaughter said it. So on the topic of cheap inventory, I seem to live in a Star Wars Joe desert. How do you find cheap stuff and lots to sell? Consideration is a great question. I mean, obviously you have to go into the other forms that we don't talk about here. The E word, evil, that's one. Obviously Facebook Marketplace and groups, and maybe just looking for those deals. Like a lot of the guys on here. Oh, there you go. Flea market, fellow sellers. I think if you hope you can get good deals. What's 12? Oh, Basis, thank you. Squish Monica, welcome back. All right, we're gonna go raid. Are they live though? That's want to make sure they're actually live. Hold on. Maybe they already were live. Are they live? They're not live yet. Did I see? Do you guys see? Stream is scheduled for today at 12:15. They're breaking their own rules. Flea markets near you. Keeping it. Hey, Basis, seriously appreciate that. How do you suggest mailing? And oh, great question. Well, how do you do it now first? How do you send them now? It's hard because you already must have a process for that. Box, yeah. You can never go wrong with a box, especially a hat. You don't want that hat to get crushed. So hats are not something I've ever really shipped. So, as long as it's as long as you haven't had any bad feedback the way you're shipping them now and any damage with the hats, I think you're okay. But obviously you want to, if you know your item, like first time must have a lot of hats, then you want to find that perfect packaging for that item. So it's just becomes a process and not like looking for that box every time. You want like 100 of the same or whatever, hundreds of those boxes if you have hundreds of those hats. Okay, they're on now. Let's go ahead and rate, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks. I always say thanks for the bids, buys, and BS, but today, just thanks for hanging out. I see people with bubble wrap envelope. I think it'll get damaged. Yeah, you definitely don't want to look bad with that, like with bubble wrap on something like that. A box is the right way to go. Right size box saves a ton of time. Necessity is the mother of invention. Some sellers want to be casual. Some need to survive. Terms 100. Yeah, couldn't agree more. First time I do more of these. If you're interested, and when you get your show scheduled, you're more than welcome to pop in. I'm more than happy to shout out your show and watch other streams. Also, first time you can watch a lot of live streams, so you really don't need to do this. But if you find a seller you like and you like the way they sell, then you can see their past shows in their profile if they've saved them. Like I save my past shows so they can be watched. Plus, they simultaneously cast to YouTube also, so they're there as well. Guys, thanks again. I'm John, and I'm going to be live in a couple hours selling on the app. I probably will do a pop-up. So appreciate you guys. We're going to go ahead and raid, and thank you guys again. Look forward to the next one. See you.